What's going on, guys? Grill Sergeant here. What's cracking, Grill Billies? Today we're going to be looking at tri-tip. Now, if you are a fan of this show, you know we've done tri-tip so many ways. I'm a huge fan of tri-tip. Now, I know it might be like a SoCal thing, but man, I mean, there's just so much flavor there. But one thing I haven't tried is a lot of people are saying that they'll take their tri-tip, treat it like a brisket, throw it in there, and when it becomes probe temperature, somewhere between 200 and 210, after a long low and slow smoke session, right when it gets like probe tender, enjoy it. And I'm like, all right. So today we're going to be doing two tri-tips. One as a backup, because if it doesn't work out and it's nasty, I still have to feed my family. So we're going to do one tri-tip how we normally do it. The other tri-tip we're going to treat like a brisket. So without further ado, let's get out the meat and let's start the show. All right, before we bring out the meat, I am gonna get the smoker turned on. Today we're gonna be using the Pit Boss Brunswick. And for pellets, I have a 50% mix of competition blend and Pit Boss's charcoal pellets. I'm gonna run the tri-tip at around 230 for the whole cook. So I'm gonna open these doors. I already got water in the water pan, and we're basically just gonna turn her on. And then right when we see smoke coming out of this bad boy, we're going to close her up and then bring up the temperature to 230. So let's get some meat on this table. Boom, here we go. Now look at these bad boys. This is USDA choice grade tri-tips, but star of the show is going to be this bad boy right here. So let's trim them up. So this one I'm going to just do for the grill. The bigger one here we are going to treat like the brisket. I'm going to be using my Rhineland Cutlery knife, and this thing is wicked sharp. And look at that. Can we see that custom engraving in there? Woo! I love it. If you do want to check out these bad boys, link in description. I can even get you 50% off. That is wild. So we're just going to go in here and just do some light trimming. Time to season these bad boys up. Man, this stuff smells good. So basically just gonna come in here. Flavor. We are now running at 230. So I'm gonna open this Pit Boss up and then put her in. And now what I'm gonna do is just let her run for about 2 hours. I'm not gonna touch it, not gonna put a probe in it, not gonna spritz it down. And what I'm hoping for is that rub to start binding with the meat and to form that bark. In about 2 hours, I'll put a probe in it. And when I do spritz it down, it's going to be a mixture of 70% apple juice with 30% Sprite. Now, the debate is, do you wrap with butcher paper or with foil? Since I'm trying to also have this for dinner, I'll probably go with the foil depending on how long it takes and what temperatures we're at. I mean, probe tender is the key word here. In fact, it's so key, we actually just started a band within the grilling barbecue YouTube community called Probe Tender. What's going on? Move over NSYNC and Backstreet Boys, because Probe Tender's in town. Okay, well, come on. They have auto-tune. That's not fair. All right, guys, it's been 2 hours. Let's go check on this brisket. I mean, tri-tip. Ah, it's so hard. Come on, let's go check this out. All right. All right, let's check her out. Interesting. That bark definitely has set. So I got my apple juice 7-Up mix, and we are basically going to start spritzing this down, reintroducing moisture back into this lovely cut of beef. Now let me get temperature probe. So we got her probed up. I'll probably come back in about an hour, do another spritzing. All right, so our tri-tip's been on for about 3 hours. Let's go check her out. I've been spritzing her down and she is looking so good. Let us peek at this. look at that bark on there. That bark is nice and set. It is looking beautiful. We're at an internal temperature right now, about 150. But now we got to set up the barbecue for the next tri-tip. This one we're just going to cook normal. So here I'm going to be using the Pit Boss tabletop. We're just going to turn this on. That is going to enter the smoke setting. And then right when we see smoke coming from there, I will close the lid. I'll probably be cooking the other tri-tip probably around the 300 degree mark. So let's put this beautiful tri-tip down right there. Stay tuned. So the tri-tip, 160 right now. Again, to most that is an absolute sin, but we're pushing through and just seeing what happens when we take it to brisket temperatures. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my aluminum foil ready. Got one sheet. We're going to double sheet this bad boy up. There we go. All right, so I got my heavy duty gloves on. These are actually by MagneChef, and there's actually a little built-in magnet here, so they stick together, but you can actually use that magnet to help get both gloves on or take one glove off. That is pretty clean. I'll put a link in the description to that, but I'm actually liking these gloves a lot. I look like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle though. I got 3 fingers coming out here. Let us deprobe this bad boy. So get some, look at that beauty. So look at that beauty. So I'm gonna put it in here, just like so. Apple juice. We're going to spritz this down, and we are going to just dump a little bit out so we can get like a steaming action going on here. Now we're gonna put it back into the smoker. All right, so it is wrapped now. I did crank up the temp to 250, and once it becomes probe tender, we're gonna try it out. And it's an experiment. I got my other tri-tip just about finished, so let's go check that one out right now. All right, she is up to temp and looking beautiful. Let's give her a little char here. Charred up. Sous vide gun comes in handy when you need those quick little chars going on there. We are going to let that rest for about 10 minutes, then we'll cut into it. So now I can turn this bad boy off. Take a little piece out, and then we are just seeing what the rub. Now this was the Lone Star brisket rub. Wow. It has a little spice kick to it, but man, so tender, so juicy, so good. All right, so we are at 205 internal degrees. I have my probe temperature here, but I'm not going to be reading the temperature. I'm actually just going to be probing it to see if it's probe tender. I'm just going to come in here. I'm going to probe it. And what I'm feeling for is basically how tender it is. I feel like we can get a little bit more tender out of this, so I'm going to leave it for another half hour, set an alarm, come back and check it out, but she is definitely getting close, and man, there is so much juice in there. I cannot wait. All right, it's been another 30 minutes. Let's go check on that. I'm going to open this up. Oh man, look at that juice. I'm just going to take the probe. I'm just going to start probing it, and oh, that is now going in like a hot knife through butter. So that's what we're looking for. We finally got our brisket, probe tender. It's going in like butter. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna let it rest about a half hour, then we're gonna carve in and see, can you turn a tri-tip into a brisket? Who knows? So now we'll rest. So we'll see you back in 30 minutes. Peace. Let us see what we get. Now the funny thing is, definitely has a bark, just like a brisket would. That is definitely brisket-esque. Let me see what you're working with. And ooh, look at that smoke ring. You gotta be kidding me. I have never seen a smoke ring like this on a tri-tip. This is insane. Look at the smoke ring on that thing. And look at the juices in there. You don't want to squeeze it too much. You don't want to rob it of all that juice in here, but let's go in here. And man, oh man, see how tender it is. Pulls apart actually. That's interesting. All right, let's do a taste test. I'm curious. I have no idea what this is going to taste like, but here we go. Wow. At this temperature, it just starts to break down and it becomes just, it almost melts in your mouth. To say that this is mimicking a brisket is an understatement. I'm very impressed. Let me cut a few pieces. I'm going to have the camera guy try some. All right, camera guy, do you want some? All right, come here. All right, let me give you a piece right here.
Snack time!
Wow, did you like it?
Me love!
All right, hey, if it's good enough for my camera guy, this is good enough for you. This tri-tip is out of this world. Again, I've never seen a smoke ring like this on a tri-tip. Hey, you saw it here first, folks, all right? Awesome for sticking with us. Catch you guys on the next one. Grill Sergeant out.